All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the Combustion Guys. Today we have two mowers here. And I'm going to tell you why I chose to go with a brand new snapper residential compared to the Toro residential 30-inch mower. So, long story short, I think that this mower has a better bagging system, a little bit more agility, and a little bit lighter to use, and long term, a little bit less, I think it'll be more cost effective too. Just from my years, I've worked with these snappers for several years. Been using them since I was 8, 9, 10. Dad brought home a couple and fixed them up, and I used them on St. Augustine, and I've always been impressed with how well they can bag. And I have 3 or 4 customers who just want their yards bagged. The St. Augustine bagged really nice. One of them's maybe a 1/5, 1/6 of an acre, pretty small yard, and then 2 of them are more like 1/3 acres with some varying terrains, up, down, small angles, and then lots of switchbacks, turnarounds, and lots of obstacles. So a friend of mine, Jim, let me borrow his 30-inch mower because I really like the way these look. And of course, picking up 9 extra inches of mowing compared to 21 is always a nice idea. And overall, I am impressed with this mower. I don't really like the drive system. Now this is a little bit older model. He uses this on his own property. But it just seems like the personal pace was a little bit too variable, more like whenever it felt like it to me. But I also think that where this mower would really shine is not necessarily yards with lots of obstacles, lots of gardens, narrow pathways. Where it would actually, in my opinion, where it shows up best is if you really have a small gate, you can't get a 36-inch back there, you can't get a 32-inch rider back there, but it's pretty long, straight mowing paths. That's where I think it shines. So it seems to be pretty easy to move. It doesn't seem that heavy, especially this model. I was just at the mower shop today, and they had the X-Mark and the Toro commercial models, and those are super duper heavy. They're about but I mean, think in mind, they're braced differently. They're better deck reinforcements around this edge here, better setup for the front wheel. So they're just designed to take a beating, and you're going to pay for it too. I mean, that runs between $2,500–2,600, whereas this one and the X-Mark residential, I think Toro might be the only one that sells the residential version, is going to run you about $1,200 to $1,300. So and I like the drive handle set up better on the X-Mark and the Toro, because it's got your blade control here with the safety, and then just the grab and go for your self-propel down here. So, but overall, really neat motor. It seemed to me as well to be a smidge underpowered blade speed wise, and just knowing this one particular yard that I use snapper on, I mow it Friday mornings, rain or shine for the most part, and if it rained the night before during the summertime, it's going to be soaking wet. I get there 7 o'clock, and if that wet grass is 4 inches tall that I'm having to cut, then even with this mower, it struggles a little bit with the bagging. But with that setup right there, and with the nice rounded edge here, it really does pull a nice suction. And the only issue is sometimes it'll get bogged up in here. But with this new blade design, that really does help. It's a wider blade, a little bit, and a high lift back. So this design, although it is a bagger, it does have a nice size bag. It's just not designed, in my opinion, for real heavy duty bagging. Normally on this one yard, I use this mower on a Friday, whole entire yard. With this mower, I'll pick up around 4 to 5 cans of grass during the slow season. This mower, I think I picked up 2 cans of grass, and they weren't totally full. So, these do have the nice Toro atomic blades, which are superb. There we go. So it's a great blade. I really like these blades. I've used the 21-inch Toros before, and they worked really well. It does have a nice baffle, but as you can see, it's not set up to pull the grass and push it into that chute. So what I noticed was a bunch of buildup right there, and it was mulched really small, which is good, but just since on this one particular yard, customers really like it. I've been using that mower since 2017, and I used a couple older ones before that. And you know, it's good for picking up leaves. This I don't think would have the suction to pull up the leaves compared to the Toro. So I'm going to walk a little bit longer, but I actually have a backup as well. So I can actually have, I'm going to set it up so I can have both mowers on the trailer at the same time. And then if I get done ahead of time, or my brother or sister get done, they can help me out and mow as well. So, but we'll go ahead and crank them up here in a minute and get back to you, and let's see what they sound like. So this one, I did like the setup it had for you know, you got your on and off switch. Let's go ahead and start it here. It doesn't have a safety, so it'll just crank right up. Oh, that kind of caught me by surprise. This one's got a little bit harder crank. So even now, it seems like the RPM is a little bit slow, and it's an 8.75 horsepower. So, you know, I'm not sure why that is, but that's the way it sounds. So, do that. Oh, that was funny. It just kind of died on me. I don't know why that was. Maybe the belt was slipping. Let's try this again. I had to give it back to Jim, not working. There it goes. So then, you know, just do it like that. Put your hands. So it's a good drive system. It just seems like it takes a little bit of extra, and it'll go quick. And it doesn't maneuver really that bad at all. No really complaints there. It just seems for the really tight switchbacks that I'm used to using that one on, it seems like it's best just to stick with what I know and what I'm productive with. And just hold that, and it shuts off. Now I have to rinse it off again so Jim can pick it up. Here are the attachments it comes with: side chute and a mulching chute, or a mulching plug. So let's crank this one up for you. This one's brand spanking new. It ended up with tax. It's $649, $695 with tax. So it sounds quite a bit better. Easy to turn around. Carb sounds a little bit dirty at the moment, but easy just to grab the handle right here. Very maneuverable. And if you're not familiar with the drive system on these, we'll just take a gander real quick. Looks like they got the oil filled on this here. So you got this disc drive here that runs off of this disc. So what happens, that belt runs this disc to this disc, then to this belt to your drive. It's got a nice little coating of sorts on there. Good idea. So it's got 10-inch, I think they're 9 or 10-inch tires, and so this is pretty similar. So, and this rolls really well. I mean, even though it's, you know, about 150, 149 pounds, thereabouts, it feels pretty balanced. It wasn't real heavy to pick up, not compared to the commercial ones anyways. This one, nice and light as well. I think this maxes out at about 100, 102, 103 pounds. So easy adjustments on the front. I think this goes up to like 4.5 inches. So this has the Briggs & Stratton 850 horsepower, 190 cc. So real basic engine structure. They're very similar. This has a new plastic carburetor. I'm not super excited about that, but we'll see how it works. I haven't looked at this new filter yet. Oh, that's kind of nice. Cool. Big dude. So there's your filter. Nice big fill cap as well. That's nice. Cool. Cool. So, and what's interesting too, this is kind of the cost effectiveness why I chose this mower. I don't have experience with these. I know in previous years, just using the basic 22-inch mowers, the transmissions on those were terrible. You had maybe 2 years and that was it, which conveniently was when the warranty ran out as well. Using it, you know, semi-commercially. So then you got your belts, you got your clutches, you got your bearings and stuff. So I bought my other one back in, I think, February of 17. So, and it lasted about 4 years. Everything was running good, actually. I had an issue where this part of the deck right down here rusted out from not cleaning around the engine area. So, and what I'm actually going to do, this area right here, the grass just sticks and stays, so you have to manually go in there, clean it out, rinse it off, instead of letting the wet grass sit there. So I'm actually going to clean the area real well, and I'm going to take some Rhino liner and spray it real well and see if that helps as a barrier to the rust, the chemicals in the fertilized grass. Let's see if we can make that last a little bit longer and make it easier just to rinse it and maintain it. So overall, considering everything, using this first time, it was a decent day, pretty comfortable day, but closer to a normal summer day, which helped out with my decision. And it really felt I was working harder with this mower. I got done about 10 minutes earlier, but it felt like I was really working a little bit harder. So overall, I think it's a good mower. It just did not work exactly for my particular yard. So, you know, I think it's a good mower. You need to go try it yourself. If you have a friend, go consider it. But overall, I decided to go with 21-inch snapper again. They have like 4 different models. I think you can get this in the commercial variety, steel wheels. I think it's got a Honda or a Kawasaki motor on it. You get steel wheels, you get this V-brace that fits in back here. I'm actually going to run some extra bolts here just to kind of stiffen up the quality control, or the what's the word I'm looking for? Beef it up a little bit. I did that with my other mower and it seems to really help, just since you're doing a lot of turning around and lifting up and so forth. So, but I got off track. Cost effectiveness is what I was trying to talk about. What issues I had was the bearings going out in the front wheels. Typical, using in a lot of wet areas, it's just going to go out. So that's pretty easy to replace. And I just recently, when I swapped all this over to a good deck I had no issues with the transmissions. I had to replace both those bearings. I had to replace this bearing. I had to replace the wheel, and I replaced both belts, the spring, and I think I had to replace one of these cables. And that was it. There was a few issues where I had to clean the carburetor several times. There was a few times where something got stuck, the float stuck, and it flooded it. I've put a fuel valve on that now to make sure that's not an issue when I'm not using it. So theoretically, that should not be an issue. So overall, real happy with that, and that's why I decided for my lawn business, for my yards, to go with another 21-inch snapper over the really cool 30-inch Toro. So thanks for watching.